cast my no vote because ain't nobody come at me and ask me what the people in my district need.
Right.
They didn't ask me what would look good for those in South Dallas.
Right.
They didn't ask me about that. So listen, I got people that I serve that are counting on me to do their work and to be their voice and not work for him. I don't work for him. He can't hire me. He can't fire me. The people that elected me in Texas 30 did. So
that's not becoming of a politician, of a U.S. Congresswoman. So you have to communicate and use cultural terminology, ratchet behavior to get your point across, to identify with who are you trying to win over with this behavior? Jasmine Crockett has gained a great deal of fame and notoriety in the perfunctory and diabolical Democrat Party. And she's gained traction, not because of class, not because of having the right tone, not because of her intellect, not because of her intelligence, my friends, but because she just goes along with the narrative that's oftentimes pushed upon the Black community, where ratchet ghetto culture and the failure to have decorum is pretty much the zenith in the Black community, which has stemmed from Hollywood, from rap music, and many actors and actresses and athletes and the like that push, a unique viewpoint of Blacks that makes some people think that we are okay with failure, that we're okay with poor decorum and or poor judgment. And I strongly feel that it's imperative that more Blacks speak out against this, in particular, as it relates to your Jasmine Crockett's of the world, so that people won't paint with a broad brush, and so that society will see that there are Blacks who disagree with the behavior of people like Jasmine Crockett. Now, I posted on X today this tweet here, and I also put it on Facebook, and there are some people who are angry with me as a result of my statements, but I don't apologize for what I said, and I think that what I said is actually accurate, and we need more people to just have the courage to say the quiet part out loud. Now, here it is. This is what I wrote. Representative Jasmine Crockett is a terrible representation of the Black community. Her lack of tact, class, grace, and decorum gives credence to stereotypes often hurled at Black women. She's not the model Black woman. I believe that. However, Black excellence amongst Black women can readily be ascertained by examining the character and meekness of Lieutenant Governor Winsome Sears, who's running to be governor in Virginia. All Black liberal women should denounce the buffoonery of Jasmine Crockett. That's if you see the value in protecting how you're viewed by the masses based on her behavior. And now, I don't see the error or the flaw in what I just wrote. I don't see any flaws in that. Matter of fact, I wish more black liberals would just give me a pat on the back and just leave her brother alone and say, hey, you know what, brother, you are right. You are stepping in some hot water, but we're going with you because you're saying what needs to be said. It's not good to have Jasmine Crockett be the poster child for black women and the black community in Democrat politics. She's a poor representation of what black excellence should look like. But what's sad is Lieutenant Governor Winsome Sears, these same people who would support Jasmine Crockett wouldn't cast a vote for Lieutenant Governor Winsome Sears, which makes no sense. How can you look at Jasmine Crockett's behavior? And you know, this is the person who said that if you commit a crime, you're not a criminal. I mean, come on, man. Come on. How do you do that? But these same people would support Jasmine Crockett and say, no, I can't vote for Lieutenant Governor Winsome Sears. That makes no sense. Lieutenant Governor Winsome Sears had a debate recently with Abigail Spanberger. Abigail Spanberger supports men going into women's restrooms. They had a debate, and I mean, Lieutenant Governor Winsome Sears, I mean, she ate her lunch. It was like an adult taking candy from a kid. It was just shameful. Lieutenant Governor Winsome Sears just, I mean, put Abigail Spanberger to shame. But what's sad is, will the black liberals, in particular black women in this case, will they look at Lieutenant Governor Winsome Sears and say, you know what, I can identify with her. She defeated Abigail Spanberger, but she did it in a classy way. She used decorum. She used etiquette. She's brilliant and articulate. She has the right persona. Everything about her says the right thing. But the question is, will black liberal women side with Lieutenant Governor Winsome Sears? Or will they just support the Jasmine Crockett's of this world solely because of Democrat and Republican? Now we're going to take a look at this video clip here where sassy Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett says she voted to shut down the government because ain't nobody come at me and ask me what the people in my district need. I mean, that is hood. That's a hood mentality. Take a look at this.
I cast my no vote because ain't nobody come at me and ask me what the people in my district need. Right. They didn't ask me what would look good for those in South Dallas. Right. They didn't ask me about that. So listen, I got people that I serve that are counting on me to do their work and to be their voice and not work for him. I don't work for him. He can't hire me. He can't fire me. The people that elected me in Texas 30 did. So unless you want to have a conversation with me about the priorities for the people in my district, baby, you're not getting this vote. Listen, he can do whatever he wants to do, but this will be on the Republicans. I need people to tune in and learn how to count and learn who controls what. If you want things to function, maybe put the Democrats back in control. Now, I know people got beef with the Democrats not being as aggressive as we should have been, especially since we got him over here just running ramshot over everything. But at a very minimum, you can always count on there being level-headedness and responsibility.
All right, so you hear baby, and all the head shaking and everything like that. I mean, that's not becoming of a politician, of a U.S. Congresswoman. So you have to communicate and use cultural terminology, ratchet behavior to get your point across, to identify with who? who are you trying to win over with this behavior? There were many people who, through the civil rights movement, gave their lives, went through grave injustices and the likes to make sure that we could secure our freedoms and liberties and not have to deal with unjust Jim Crow laws, only to see that 60 to 70 years removed from that time frame, we now have products like this who are campaigning and running for office, who actually made it into the U.S. Congress, but this is the best they have to offer. Well, since he didn't come and talk to me, pull that up again. What the heading for that? Since he didn't come and talk to me and ask my endpoint, I didn't vote in support. I mean, you know what's best for your district. And why not work alongside the agenda of President Trump and Mike Johnson to make sure you can do what's best for your constituents? Listen, the Democrats are not in power. They're not. And so you're going to have to come to the table and do business and do things on their terms to get what's best for your constituents. That's what you're going to have to do. But the problem comes in when people like Jasmine Crockett see that, hey, the Democrat Party wants $1.5 trillion in additional funding for abortions, trans surgeries for minors, and for health care for criminal illegal aliens. See, the Jasmine Crockett's of our world and the Democrat Party, they want that. And they're not going to bend, break, or budge on that because these items that I just listed are their sacred cows. And so they're not going to work with President Trump's agenda because it means that they can no longer, unalive as many babies as possible. Now, you all know that I wouldn't normally say that, but we're on YouTube, but we'll say unalive today. She also knows that, hey, it goes against her party platform for her to speak ill of mutilating a healthy young girl's body who has breasts. She knows, Jasmine Crockett, that in order for her to get the support of the Democrat Party, she's got to be against ICE. And so therefore, she's a pawn and a puppet, manipulated for the best interests of the Democrat Party and not really caring about her constituents in the first place, because most sane people don't think that you should provide sexual reassignment surgeries for minors. Most people with half a brain disagree with that. But instead, it brings in big money on the campaign trail. And my friends, that's what it's all about today to many people. And see, Jasmine Crockett, she represents the Texas 30th District. They're doing a current redistricting in Texas. They're reshaping districts for 2026. And her current district may be eliminated or heavily changed. And I hope it's eliminated. I hope they push her out. Please draw the lines and the maps and make sure y'all keep Jasmine Crockett out, please. She could be moved into the new 33rd district under the new map, and she will keep her seat until January 2027 unless she resigns. She also must run again in 2026 in a new or tougher district. That's the 33rd district, possibly. And if she loses the 2026 election, she's out when the new Congress starts in January 2027, which would, oh my goodness, be a blessing. All right, and next, I want to show you this video of Stephen A. Smith, and he's also noticing, the damnable behavior and decorum, and he recognizes that this is a grave problem that we need to address. And And kudos to Stephen A. Smith for putting his neck on the line and being willing to address, this garbage that she's pushing out upon the American people. Watch.
Let me tell you what gets me annoyed. And I hope Jasmine Crockett is listening to this. By the way, she's welcome on the show. When you go on national television and you call in the president of the United States out of his name, and you're being all disrespectful.
Yep.
As a representative in this country, do you believe the citizens of Texas sent you there to do that?
That's a good question. Do you think people in Texas 30, the 30th district, sent you to Congress to be as vulgar as possible? All this neck action, all of just contorting and twisting your face and yeah, baby, and all of this just hood culture oozing out of you. Do you think that's what they want in a representative? You are not representing them because that is not the dominant culture of the district that you reside over. It's not. These people are sensible. They want a person that's going to go to Congress and fight to keep taxes low, to provide the necessary funding and support for children in education, to keep criminal illegal aliens out of our country. That's what people want in your district. They want to be safe. They don't want to live in constant fear, looking over their shoulder, thinking that they're going to be the next Laken Riley. They don't want a society where our freedoms and liberties have been taken and removed by the government. And so Stephen A. Smith asks a wonderful question. Do you think that you calling the president out of his name and using all these vulgar terms and profanity, do you think that's what your constituents want in your district? And the answer is a resounding no. Watch.
They don't like him either. I'm talking about those who voted for her in all likelihood. But because he is who he is and he is in that position, they expect you to go to Capitol Hill and figure out a way to maneuver yourself through that terrain.
That's right.
To work in a fashion that's going to facilitate getting things done on behalf of your constituents. That's your job. That's your job. Excuse my language on Sirius XM, but it ain't your job to say he ain't.
Yes.
He ain't worth it. That's not your job. Anybody can do that. You're supposed to be figuring out a way to get things done.
See, you know what, man? Stephen A. Smith, thank you so much. Thank you, Stephen A. Smith, for addressing this. It's not her job to look at the president and say, he ain't S. Look at the governor of Texas and call him Hot Wheels. To be up there with all of that stuff like that. That is not your job. That does not move the needle. That does not convince the Republican Party to work with you. It definitely doesn't put you in good graces with President Trump. It's not going to help you in the halls of government. Oh, it's good for theater. It's good for optics. It makes you come across as if you're tough and you're bad. But hear me, Jasmine, it diminishes how people see Black women. And so this is what I'm doing. I'm calling on Black liberal women to denounce Jasmine Crockett. Denounce Jasmine Crockett. If you are a Black liberal woman, you should denounce her. She's repulsive. You should come out and say, hey, although I am a Democrat, this is awful and pathetic. She is disgusting. What she's saying, her attitude, the tone, everything that goes along with her Halloween Trump-esque image I don't stand for. I don't like President Trump. I agree with Stephen A. Smith. Someone may say that we don't like President Trump, but at the end of the day, ask yourself, is Jasmine Crockett representing your best interests? And the answer is no. You can go find any hood rat chick off the streets to go fill her shoes. The Texas 30th District deserves better. And so Stephen A. Smith questioned if Crockett's behavior helps her district. The answer is no. And then here's another question. Should leaders focus on bold activism or measured leadership? It should be the measured leadership rather than tone and tenor and all this just ungodly, cantankerous, argumentative, uncooperative behavior. You need someone that has measured leadership. Now, some see her as standing up to corruption. Some do. Others are being overly combative. But this is what I see. I see an increasingly growing number of people in the Black community, in particular Black women, who aren't married. Black women are some of the most unwed women in society. And when you look at Jasmine Crockett, you can ascertain or stereotypically look at her behavior and get a glimpse of why that might be so. Because if this is what a Black man or even a white man, whoever marries the Black woman, if this is what they have to look forward to, I'll go find love somewhere else. Because no one wants to put up with the Jasmine Crockett. No one wants to. I'm appalled by the silence in the Black community. Black America has to do better. And so that the world can see and know that yes, there are the Winsome Sears out there. A woman, as I told you in the beginning, she's Black, but she's a Black Republican. And since she's a Black Republican, Black liberal women can't support her. Man, get out of here with that stuff. We need to find the right candidates that represent the best interest of their constituencies. And we need to find Black politicians that don't reduce the overall outlook of who and what the Black community stands for. Jasmine Crockett, she needs to vanish, but we need more Black leaders like Winsome Sears. God bless you. God bless America. Let me know what you think below in the comment section. Am I right or am I wrong? Am I weak or am I strong? God bless you and God bless America.